I don't even think I have to sell you on this one. Who the hell doesn't love good trash talk? Emphasis on the word good, though. Being an annoying troll will not earn you a spot on this list. Koscheck is another great example of the difference between being effective at applying psychological pressure and being Josh Koscheck.
Why don't you like Josh Koscheck?
Let's have a show of hands who likes Josh Koscheck. Who's a fan of Josh Koscheck? What, 7, 8? My opinion is if you'd like Josh Koscheck, then you've not met the guy.
This is obviously a top 10, but if you want a bonus number 11, it's probably John Jones.
I beat you after a weekend of cocaine.
I know, right? Putting Uncle Dana as the number 10 trash talker in UFC history has got to be some kind of a stretch. Nope.
He's the Arizona Mazzagatti.
Whether it's the legendary Elite XC rant, his sound bites, going off on reporters for absolutely no reason, or the fact that he seems to push out a baby anytime someone even mentions the name Oscar De La Hoya, this dude has had plenty of beef and zero problem addressing it in front of a live mic.
But Kimbo Slice sucks. Like I've said now for the last few months, this fucking guy can't fight, and he got knocked out in 13 seconds.
Nowadays, he may be more known for his other CTE league or being the poster child of midlife crisis, but nobody can deny what a master on the stick this dude was in his day.
That's fucking illegal.
Nick and Nate have always had a tumultuous relationship with the English language. I feel like half of what they say is actually comprehensible, but out of that 50%, there's some solid lines and classic sound bites in there.
I think everybody's on steroids. You're on steroids.
You fight midgets. And that's it. Knocked out 3 midgets and you're pumped up.
Their ability to get an entire crowd on their side and make it feel like you're fighting 10,000 to 1 is something very few fighters in history have, and it's undeniable. Ben was able to get under people's skin with some of the most polite and respectful trash talk I've ever seen. Guy felt like he was pulled from The Office or something, just designed to walk around ignoring social cues, producing hilarious TV, and slowly boiling Dana's blood to the point of... Nobody likes a guy who always needs to have the last word, and that's exactly what Ben was built for.
Dude, we fight in a cage. I don't understand what more there can be. Like,
Listen,
do we want to
listen.
introduce weapons,
Listen,
or what do
young
you want
man.
to do?
Listen, young man. You know what?
I'm older than you.
Congratulations.
He had that Chael Sonnen kind of thing to him, where his trash talk was usually PG, he almost always had a smile on his face, and yet he was able to win just about every verbal back and forth he had.
Hey Dylan, remember when you told Conor that you were a better version of Khabib and had him ready for the fight? LOL. Boom, roasted.
I love it. Damn you, Dana White, for not bringing this savage in from Bellator. Rampage is one of the most hilarious fighters in the history of the sport. Not to say he can't go toe-to-toe with people when needed, but more than anything, Page is just a dude that enjoys making people laugh.
Rampage, did you think this fight was going to go as easy as it went?
No, I didn't go that easy.
Now, when you hit him with that shot, did you think that shot was hard enough to put him down?
I didn't think so, because Chuck really tough, and I didn't know.
I be loving me some black women.
Definitely not your fault, Rampage. You've been beautiful so far.
I never been called beautiful before.
Any single interview from Rampage would consist of two things: hysterical jokes and questionable quips. And the perfect example of how not believing in cancel culture is the best base for mixed martial arts.
I'm been reported, so you might not.
I've seen it.
You might want to get away. I've been in a long training camp. Get away from me. Get away.
This has gotta be a joke, right? Khabib, the 6th best trash talker of all time? Don't you worry, I shall explain. Khabib's trash talk was the only one of its kind. Rather than traditional shit-talking, Khabib was all about stating things as matter-of-fact as possible.
Sunglasses. In street fight, I can eat you.
I take people to deep waters where they discover themselves is still one of the most haunting things I've ever heard a fighter say. I feel like the broken English only added to things. He doesn't need perfect grammar to paint the picture of the ass-whooping you're about to take.
I'm gonna smash your boy, guys. I'm gonna smash your boy.
He's also the only guy I've ever seen genuinely begging his opponents to give up so he could stop hurting them.
You have to give up. You know this episode. You agree?
After his fight with Justin Gaethje, he was asked why he didn't throw any signature ground and pound and chose to fight more like a traditional jiu-jitsu practitioner. His response? I didn't want to hurt him in front of his family. GOAT. Okay, it's actually kind of shocking to me how quickly Dreykus has shot up the ranks in terms of high-level shit-talking. He's the only fighter I've ever seen make two different people cry with his trash talk.
Bro, you think your dad beat the shit your dad doesn't have shit on me. Every childhood memory you have is gonna come back.
No idea who the f I am.
I care about your story. I don't care about your story.
He's a perfect example of the old adage, this can get as ugly as you want it to.
Nobody said anything about dogs, bro. Chill out.
You want this to be a fun and respectful build-up? Cool, we can do that. No problem. You want this to be a shit-slinging contest? Cool, we can do that too. Just be warned, tears will be shed, and elephants in the room will be addressed. I've mentioned before that Cruz's trash talk comes off like the class president talking shit. It wouldn't surprise me at all if he studied his opponents before he went into verbal confrontations with them. Watch this.
No? So Faber wasn't relevant?
No.
He was your teammate?
He's not.
But you've always been beating him up, right? You've always been beating up all your teammates, huh?
Yeah, I've been doing a great job, yeah.
So you were always thinking you were better than all your teammates the whole time.
In about 5 seconds, he gets TJ to paint himself into a corner and exposes his actual character around his teammates at the time. His favorite weapon was the truth.
I was able to buy a house with all the wins I got over your team.
Nobody ever responded to a Dominic Cruz line with complete disbelief. Usually because they knew what he was saying was absolutely true, so they'd have no choice but to laugh it off to act like it didn't clearly bother them. Dominic Cruz is the kind of guy that would beat you in chess and then go through each individual move you made wrong after and explain how this is the exact moment I knew I'd beat you.
He hasn't faced somebody like me. He's able to mix things up because he's facing stationary targets. So he's been able to look a lot better than he really is.
Snarky and effective. Dominic Cruz couldn't knock out my 14-year-old son. That might be one of the most underrated lines in UFC history. Holy shit, that's funny. Bisping finally got the crowd on his side in his later years. I mean, it really did take people some time, but I think at this point we can all agree Mike is one of the goats of MMA trash talk.
I was expecting some more you douchebags to have the fucking headbands on from Karate Kid today. Where are you all? Where are the GSP fans? Come on, George, what the fuck's going on? This is your place.
He's also one of the few guys that consistently pointed out his opponent's cheating. It was kind of ironic coming from the Diaz brothers, considering Nate and seemingly their entire camp have tested positive, but from Bisping, it actually carried more weight. Mike also had this ability to lay everything on the table in a way few others could.
But I know why you picked me. You think I'm an easy fight. Just like Anderson did. Just like Luke Rockhold did when I knocked him out in the first round. Just like everybody does. And time again, I proved them wrong.
Everyone says they keep it real. Bisping actually keeps it real.
Where'd you get that jacket, man?
You like it?
No, it sucks.
Surely Conor's number one, right? Well, in some respects, sure, he should be. I feel like old Conor and current Conor should be treated as two entirely different people.
Dustin thinks it's all talk, but when he wakes up with his nose plastered on the other side of his face, he's gonna know it's not all talk.
You were doing this little thing, and I was like, what the fuck is that? I've never seen nothing like it. This guy is a fucking genius, eh?
Conor in his prime was probably the best trash talker I've ever seen. But that was roughly a 4-year window before he completely lost his fucking mind.
My thoughts on Dennis Seaver is he's a midget German steroid head.
The subsequent almost decade and counting have been a bunch of coke rants, screaming, calling everyone a rat, and losing court cases. But Prime Conor really was something special. I heard someone mention once that 2015 Conor would verbally humiliate current Conor. And yeah, I think that's pretty undeniable.
Never just like somebody that much that I've never fought.
This guy studied the game and everyone in it. I swear, this guy had a folder full of information on every single opponent in the top 15. And really, I can't even imagine having an entire country against you while Conor perfectly articulates your technical weaknesses and how they match up against his style, only to have that entire prediction manifest inside the cage. Otherworldly. The OG, the old guy, Chael Sonnen. His trash talk has always had a bit of a wink and nod to it, which made some of his not PG material blend in.
Listen, Vandalay, I will do a home invasion on you. I will cut the power to your house, and the next thing you hear will be me climbing up your stairs in a pair of night vision goggles I bought in the back of Soldier of Fortune magazine.
One of my favorite Chael P moments was him dodging Dan Levitard's attempt at instigating by simply saying, "I had no idea Brazilian was a race." Chael is a literal politician, so him being able to politician his way through answers always made complete sense to me. But he was also great at getting under people's skin with G-rated material.
Seagal said, that kind of behavior is an embarrassment to the human race. It's an embarrassment to the martial arts.
Well, I don't know anything about martial arts, but Steven Seagal would know a damn lot about behavior that's embarrassing to the human race.
Claiming Anderson Silva lives in a mansion in California and that he speaks English is extremely light cannon fodder, especially by today's standards. But it was more than enough to get Anderson huffing and puffing back in the day.
What did you see when you watched that fight?
Look, Floyd needs to keep doing what he's doing, which is fighting complete tomato cans who we've never heard of before.
Las Vegas, Nevada is closer to him than it is to West Lynn, Oregon. Conor probably had the better peak as far as trash talk, but Chael's been at it since 2010, and he's still a funny motherfucker. And he did all of it while being clean. Well,
That's basically clean. It depends on your definition of clean.